This is a certified Jacob classic.
Hey YouTube. So today I'm going to be going over my top 5 favorite skin collections in Standoff 2. The only rules for this that I'm looking at are the knife skins or glove skins and then the actual weapon skins. I don't really care about charms or anything like that. And I'm mainly going to be looking at like larger collections, like season updates, things that come with a battle pass. I'm not looking at anything like 2 years, just because those are only like 4 skins and that's it. So it gives us more stuff to look at. So at my number 5, I have Kitsune Dreams. It's a more recent collection that's been added, but it has a bunch of really nice skins. I can't really find any that I particularly dislike, and I think they all look great. Personal favorites of mine have got to be the Vermilion, just because it absolutely looks sick. I used to have this on my AK, but I sold it recently because I'm saving up for when the Battle Pass gets released onto the market in a couple weeks. But I still have it on my Desert Eagle, so it just looks really nice. All of the skins in this collection are fantastic. My one gripe with it is the knives are kind of ass. Like there's nothing really to write home about here. None of them look particularly good, and they're all very complex, you know? And the one good knife is the M9 Bayonet Amber Koi. But even compared to like other M9 bayonets, it's really not that great. One more high, it's just really good skins, you know? They all have a very distinct vision. They're all like anime inspired, and they have bright colors, which I'm a big fan of. I usually rock the Tiki gloves. These ones right here, actually, the Dread. So it's really nice to have bright colors to match them, you know? If I had to say my least favorite skin in this collection, it would probably be the 5.7 Pink Shot. Just because, I don't know. I think the anime girl looks stupid. Believe it or not, I'm not that big into anime or anything like that. But I do like the use of the big bright colors, and this one's just kind of lacking it. So, overall, great skins, bad knives. So, we'll move on to the next one. At number 4, I have Legends. This is another really cool Battle Pass skin. It was released with the map Breeze, and everything just really sticks to like the Greek mythology and water theme, you know? And I love water themes and stuff like that. Anything islandy and tropical is really nice. I live in upstate New York, so I'll take any bit of sunshine that I can get. But every skin in this is really solid. Even like the rares, like if you look at this, Hercules, fantastic skin. Just the detail on it looks great. I'd have to go with my least favorite from this probably being Griffin, but once again, it's a rare, and even as a rare, it still looks pretty alright. Now, a personal favorite of mine, I love the Octopus skins. They're on 2 guns that I use a good amount, the Spaz and the 5.7. So I used to use the Spaz more before it got nerfed, obviously. But even still, it's a great looking skin, you know? The Octopus just crawling all over the gun. And as you get into the more expensive guns or skins, you get into like the AK Skilla and stuff like that. And even that looks fantastic. This is another one that I forget if I still own. I know I used to have it, but I might have just sold it recently. Yeah, I sold it. But even the knives look great. One of my favorite is Constellations for like the M40 and Mac 10 and stuff. My problem with it is that it's on a not particularly used gun. Now, if I were to give this a couple negatives, the reds kind of suck. You got the Mac 10 Argo, related to the Argonauts. It's kind of like an off gold color, and it looks fine as a Mac 10. But the problem is it's a Mac 10, so who really wants an Arcane Mac 10 or an Arcane MP5? And this is awful. I'm sorry. It's like green instead of gold, and it's just kind of icky looking. I've never seen anyone run this, and I hope I never do, because it's just a massive waste of gold. Another problem, it's kukris. I like kukris, but a lot of people don't, mainly for this animation. They're just really big and kind of worse than M9s, you know? They're less classic, and they just take up a lot of your screen. But the skins, once again, the knife skins look fantastic. There was a point where I think I owned every single one of these except for the gold trim, and I really liked them. But as time went on, I eventually sold them all off. If I were to go with a personal favorite knife from this collection, I would definitely have to go with the dual dagger jaws. This is one that I still own, and I mainly have it because, like I said, I'm a big fan of tropical and bright colors, and it really matches the Dread gloves. So, alrighty, moving on to number 3. So in third place, we have the Fable collection. For pretty obvious reasons. It's a classic. It's been on the shop for basically ever at this point, you know? It's been here since, I think, 2020 or something like that. And so it's the longest continuously dropping collection in the game. And really, it's all you could ever want from a collection like this, you know? You have some bad skins, some good skins. A personal favorite of mine has got to be, obviously, the M4 Samurai. Samurai skins, this and the P90 have always been some of my favorite. Just because I love the detail of the guy and the big blue katana and stuff like that, and it looks awesome. Also, this is the first time we got butterfly knives. Butterfly knives, big in this game. People really like them. They're a very flashy knife, and they look good with a lot of stuff, you know? They've got pretty simple color patterns. There are a lot of red gloves in the games, and you have the Black Widow butterfly. So you're able to match a lot of stuff, and they just go well with a lot of different gloves, and you can get good combos going. Now, my one problem with this whole collection, is you don't really have a lot of standout skins. It's mostly just a solid collection. The worst standout in terms of bad skins has got to be the Pixel V2 for the UMP, but that's fine because no one uses the UMP. But there's nothing that really makes this collection stand out, but there's nothing I can really fault it with. It's just kind of an all-around good collection, you know? And so that's why I'm giving it the number 3 spot. In second place, we have Empire skins. So in second place, we have the Empire collection. This is one of my favorite collections. All of the skins are honestly really good. Starting at even just the commons, you got Scale, where it's the snake. A personal favorite of mine, of course, Tropic. But a lot of the cheaper skins, which I know a lot of you have to buy, look really good for their price. Like AKR-12 Roar, this looks like it could be at least an epic or even a legendary, you know? And then as you move up, the skins only get better. Once again, Tropic, one of my favorite skins. But even stuff like the USP Chameleon, this is a lot of people's first really, I say expensive, but good USP skins. And USP is such an important part of the game that a lot of people shell out big bucks on it. Stuff like the Deagor Ricci and stuff like that, really good. And it comes with 2 of my favorite arcanes in the whole game. Just because of the big bright colors and all that. I'm not a big fan of the bubblegum, just because I feel like its colors can be all over the place. But one thing that I am a really big fan of is the Boom. Another thing about me is yellow is my favorite color, and this is the only yellow skin. And believe it or not, we don't have that many skins, especially cheaper ones, and ones that are a solid color, and ones that aren't expensive, you know? There are so many that are arcanes and things like that, and this is a very good example of an affordable one. Now, the thing I love most about this is it comes with gloves. So this was our second time ever getting gloves. And previously, it had been, gloves had come out as part of, like, a battle pass, and so they're a lot more limited. These came in the form of a case, and so you were able to get them a lot more easily, and it was nice to finally have affordable gloves in the game. In addition to this, I think that they really look nice, especially the Champion and the Burning Fists. So, like I said, I really like yellow, and because of that, Champion, I've had these gloves for, like, basically since this collection came out, and I've held on to them, you know? And I think they really hold up and go with a lot of different things, with a lot of different knife combos and weapon skins. And so because of this, Empire is just a really solid collection all around, and it showed what a collection could honestly be and how good they could get. So, before I get to the number one spot, I wanted to go over a couple honorable mentions. First one, Subject X. This is one of the Halloween updates a couple years back, I believe. And all of the skins look fantastic. Once again, even the cheaper ones, they look great. This is Berettas, so, no one really uses the Berettas. But still, as a rare, it looks fantastic. And it has a really nice red theme going on. Everything is red and black, and that goes with a lot of different gloves and knife combos, such as the Black Widow butterfly from earlier. But all of the skins look really good. But the reason I didn't rank it higher is because of the gloves. The gloves, they are horrible. At least in my opinion. I see some people who really like them. I'm not one of those people. They look like plastic to me. And they're all just ugly, solid colors with really, really bad patterns, in my opinion. The one that is bought the most and worn the most has got to be the Haunt, just because they're bright red. But even still, I think there are a lot of better red gloves than this. But really, the skins themselves, they look great. I don't see many people running this M4 Enkai, just because I think there are better, cheaper ones. And I feel like nobody's too passionate about the cyan and pink colors. But in terms of like an AKR-12, you really can't get much better than this. Except maybe the Ember Bird, which is a really, really solid skin all around too. And finally the P90. It's just really cool skins. But bad knives, so I couldn't put them on the list. The second honorable mention has to go to Rival. This was I think the third collection ever released into the game, and man, they did well here. You have stuff with like the AKR Carbon, which is just a solid black and red skin. And then you also have a bunch of stuff such as the Frostworm, which looks great on a Glock. And as you get an AKR Necromancer, I mean, come on. This was such a great collection for the time. Third case in the game. And so these were really big for really, really long time as being the best skins in the game. And I think they're still really high up there. Genesis. I love the Genesis. Everything about this is just beautiful, Not too expensive, but really good pattern. And really colorful. The one thing that is holding this collection back, again, is the knives. Nobody likes a J Commando. These things are so ugly. And there's a reason why after like 2 years of this collection being off the market, they're still super cheap. It's because they don't look good. The only one that looks good is the Frost, or Frozen, or whichever it is. But that's only because it goes with the Autumn gloves. And you'll notice that the Frozen J Commando isn't in this collection. So, the skins are fantastic, but once again, the knives just fall short. At number 1, we have the Valor collection. Now, this is a very, very new collection. It's not even in the shop yet, so it says coming soon. And the only way to get them are either through spins or through watching videos. And so because of this, all of the prices are super inflated. Like, there's no way a common Tech 9 should be going for 0.4. But this is a really, really good collection, and I look forward to when it's released on the market. So, just at first glance, the commons aren't that good. The lower tier skins aren't fantastic, but that's to be expected. A couple stand out, especially at the lower levels, are the Dark Camo. So this is the first common we've got. And I think it looks really good, especially for the price that it's going to be. Of course, it's pretty expensive right now, especially for a common. But hopefully this will settle around like 0.1 gold or something like that. And so a bunch of players are finally going to be able to get a decent skin. Another that I really like is the Mallard Paint Scrawl. It's a nice, it's nice. It's a lot like the default, but with a bit of an off shade of wood, and then just more detail, You have the paint, and it's a nice Mallard skin, especially for an uncommon, because we've been getting a lot of, like, really expensive ones in the past collections since they released it. once again, rares, nothing to write home about. They're okay. Nobody uses the FAL, so I'm not really inclined to comment too much on this. It looks okay. A lot like the X-ray skins from CS:GO. But as you get to the more expensive stuff, once again, the epics aren't particularly great. But the legends in the arcanes are fantastic. Like Emberbird. This is my favorite AKR-12 skin. And then they put it on a P350 and it looks fantastic again. Then Sketch. Oh my god. This is probably my favorite AK skin. Ever since they started releasing like the sketchbook ones, like the P90 Noir in one of the past collections, I've fallen in love. I think they look sick. Just the little sketched out versions of the AKs. Mallard snake scales. Once again, do we really need this many Mallard skins? I mean, we've gotten so many in the past few collections. I understand that it's a new gun, and it's a pretty good okay gun. It can probably be used in comp and stuff like that. But we've gotten so many like arcanes and legends of it. But then you get to like the arcanes. We finally have like a true Glock fade. We've had the Nest before, which looks a lot like the fade from CS. But now we actually have one with patterns. And this thing can actually look really good. So I actually just bought one earlier today. If I can find it. Oh, well, don't know where that went. Anyways, you gotta trust me. I had one at some point. Ah, here it is. I mean, it's just a really nice skin. I'd hold off on buying these, just like anything from this collection, until it's actually released on the market, because when it is, prices should drop pretty significantly. That's why I sold the Glock Twilight. But then we have the Treasure Hunter M4. I'm personally not a fan. I think we have much better M4A1s in the game. But it's nice to see another Treasure Hunter in the game, because right now I think we're at 3. We have the the M4A1, and then the AK. But this is the return of the M9 bayonets. So we haven't had M9 bayonets in a case since the Origin collection, which was the first collection in the game. And these look fantastic. Let's see if I can get a good pattern. This is a lot like the bayonet fades in CS. And it's really nice to have those in the game again. I think they look great. I'm probably gonna buy one. As you've seen, I have like 20,000 gold saved up. I sold a lot of my inventory. And so you have stuff like the Citrine, M9 bayonet sketch. This is really just everything you would ever want in a collection, you know? You have really strong knives, a bunch of good... you have one good cheap skin, and a bunch of good higher tier skins. And it's just good to finally have a really nice collection again, because it's definitely been a while since we've had one this good. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of my selection. Let me know what you think I should talk about next. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hoping to make more videos soon and not disappear for like a year like I did last time. But we'll see you in the next video.